guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking Jujutsu Kaisen and unfortunately the ending of it. Now this is just going to be a quick, right off the top of my head, straight from the heart, no script written video. I just want to talk about the ending and just how I feel about it and give kind of a farewell and thank you to the series. So a little background on why I like Jujutsu Kaisen. It was the second anime that I ended up watching. Attack on Titan was the first, and this was another one back to back that really caught my attention and hit pretty hard for me. I love all the characters, they're all lovable, very funny. The story's very interesting to me, where it can be complicated at times. Some may say overcomplicated. I like it, it gives you something to dive into if you really are messing with it. Now, Gege, the author, did kind of shock everyone when he announced that there would only be 5 chapters left. And it did come as a shock to myself also because I did not want it to end right away. We were just coming off the huge battle, and if you guys haven't already known the ending and are clicking on this, this is obviously going to contain lots of spoilers, so be warned, here we go. But like I was saying, we coming off the final battle where, you know, everyone pretty much either dies or gets really messed up trying to fight Sukuna. I got the vibe through parts of that was the end, and I didn't like that. It made me sad, but I was also hyped reading it. And then when Gege announced that, it kind of hit my heart because I was like, dang, I was really hoping that, you know, Gojo would come back, or we would get a Heian era flashback, like a bunch of chapters about that explaining Sukuna and Kenjaku and everyone. But we didn't. And where some people might criticize it and say, I hate it, you know, I'm going to go the opposite route. Whereas I would have done it differently. I am not the author. It is not my creation. And I did love Jujutsu Kaisen. And just because it's ending doesn't mean I have to crap on it all. Everything needs to end, and maybe Gege thought this was its time. So I'm going to respect that, and I very much still enjoy this series. And honestly, when I look at it that way from a more positive light, it's an alright ending. At the very end of the fight, or after the fight you could say, Nobara comes back, so the main trio's kind of reunited. You get those old vibes from like season 1. You can really tell that's what Gege is trying to do. They all get letters from Gojo, that's very cool. And then we bring it to the final little bit where they start to go on a mission. We get little bits of information, you know, here and there about other characters, but you can tell it's just kind of, he's trying to wrap it up, please people as much as he can with this very sudden ending. And you get them going on one last mission to investigate. And I mean, nothing about it is too complex. It's obviously not going to introduce no crazy new villain. You know, Sukuna's gone. Yeah, if you guys want to hear more about it, I can do more of a full ending breakdown, but this is kind of just my goodbye and my thank you to the series. And at the very end, it ends with panels of all the main characters all smiling, leaves on a very happy, sweet note. And the very last panel, inside of this little shack type thing, you see Sukuna's last finger. Now, the difference between this time and the reason it started the show was obviously there was a finger scattered everywhere, and Yuji ended up eating one of them, and that's how Sukuna ended up coming back. But the difference is it parallels the idea and the symmetry of the story of now the last panel is kind of how the story kicked off. But this finger does not have any cursed energy. This is the finger that Nobara used her first technique on, and when they were about ready to kill Sukuna, to help them kind of finish it off when she first came back. And despite a finger still being out there, it doesn't have enough of Sukuna's soul left in it or attached to it to be able to possess or fill a being, kind of like Yuji ate it when Yuji ate his, because there was a lot more fingers left, and Sukuna was a lot more dangerous there because of the multiple fingers that were left. So I think this is more of just a nice way to kind of create some symmetry with how it started, the reason it started, and give a cool little ending. Now, like I said, this is more of my goodbye and just a little quick overview. I did enjoy it. I love Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole. Yuji is an awesome main character. I love how passionate he is. I love how determined he is. I love Gojo, man. His energy is unmatched. I wish he didn't die, but RIP Gojo. At least he went out fighting Sukuna, and I mean, like he said kind of in the end, he wants Yuji to take his place as that like main sorcerer dude of the timeline. So, but I still wish he didn't have to die because everyone loves Gojo. Megumi and Nobara, awesome. I love the main dynamic, all the 3 characters. It's cool to see Nobara come back. It was very sad back in the Shibuya incident when she died, or supposedly died, now that we know she lives. The only gripe I have there was a lot of things that, like the Colon Games and the Heian era, that could have been explained better or ended better. I think the Colon Games could have had, 5 chapters of its own to explain and show a true ending to it. I think the Heian era could have had 5 chapters of its own to explain a little bit of the backstories. When it got announced 5 chapters and it's over, it was like, man, there's going to be some stuff left out. This is still one of the most popular manga and anime IPs in the world, and for good reason. It's unique, it's very cool, the characters are lovable. Although Gege's explanations of stuff can be interesting at times, overall he crafted a beautiful story here, and I want to say thank you, Jujutsu Kaisen, for filling a lovely role in my life, giving me lots of fun manga to read and lots of fun anime to watch. At least we got more anime seasons coming, but for the manga, this is the end. Thank you, Gege. Thank you, Jujutsu Kaisen, and try to be more positive about the ending, guys. Stuff always has to end, and it's the author's right to end stuff. And whether it could have been explained better, whether it could have ended how you wanted, it's over, and it wasn't a complete fumble or collapse. We got the best that we could for what the author wanted to do, and at least I appreciate the rest of the series, so I will appreciate the ending. Thank you, Jujutsu Kaisen.